This podcast is not sponsored or supported by any business or organization. The views reflected on these podcast episodes are my own. Please be aware I am not a medical expert, travel agent, or any other kind of expert. Hey everyone, welcome to the Eat, Explore, Love podcast. I'm Ashley. This podcast is based off of my blog of the same name, Eat, Explore, Love. It talks about the unique challenges in traveling around the world when you have celiac disease. Due to sort of popular demand, I decided to also record a podcast to delve a little deeper into my travels and the lessons learned along the way. I know what you're thinking. How many times can one person visit London? And folks, I agree with you. I never thought I'd say this, and 16-year-old Ashley would be screaming at me right now, but I might be Londoned out. I am so lucky and so fortunate that within the past 9-10 months, I have been to London 3 times. The third time was not intentional. It was to visit a friend of mine that was going to be in Europe at the same time, and that was going to be our meeting spot. Unfortunately, things didn't pan out the way that they were supposed to, and I was in London and had to pivot, but that's okay. London is the perfect city to be able to pivot in. So I got to knock a couple things off the bucket list. Well, one thing off the bucket list. So although we've been here before, there's always something new to do in London and something new to talk about. So here is the third episode, me talking about London. So in London, I did find a couple new places, believe it or not, where you can get some gluten-free cuisine. The first place was by my office and it was called the Table Cafe. It's right by London Bridge, that area. And they had a really good amount of gluten-free breakfast options and I really enjoyed their waffles. So check out the Table Cafe. There's also a place called Bar Doro. It was a nice little place by my Airbnb, and it wasn't the perfect set of circumstances as far as options for gluten-free food for me. But they did set up a special thing where the manager came over and took my order when they found out I had an allergy. I had to go through a very special process to make sure that what I was eating was safe. And I just needed something small to eat before, landing late in London and needing to just grab a little something before I went to bed. It was the perfect place to go to for that. My Old Dutch was another place that I went to go check out, and I ordered a pancake, and it wasn't a pancake. It was mainly a huge crepe. It was really good though, and the staff was really nice and accommodating, and most of their menu, their items can be made gluten-free. This last place that I went to was the Mad Hatter's Tea at the Sanderson. It wasn't, no pun intended, my cup of tea. They do have a little bit more variety and flavor, but I'm not the kind of girl that likes that. I honestly preferred Harrods, but the staff was really lovely and really informed about gluten allergies and how to make sure to bring you stuff that's safe for you. And I know that other people that have celiac have really loved this afternoon tea experience, which is why I went to go and try it out. It is really cute and really nice where you can just do, it is Alice in Wonderland themed, and you could go and check out my blog to see photos of the things that they do to make it Alice in Wonderland themed. It's very, very cute, but not my thing. Okay, guys. I have done pretty much all that I'm interested in doing in London, but there was one thing I wanted to do that I hadn't gotten to do. At any of my trips, there was always a reason for something to for it to fall through. And that was going to Warner Brothers Studios for the Harry Potter tour. And I have to say, it was really cool. If you're a fan of the movies, if you're a fan of the books, even if you're not a fan of those particular things, but you are a fan of television, film, if you want to go into that industry of even doing set design or costume design or props, anything related to the film industry that normally doesn't get highlighted, it really takes you through soup to nuts of how to make a film in a really cool way. So I highly recommend that you try and go and see Warner Brothers Studios, the Harry Potter experience. There was a little bit, I booked it through Get Your Guide, and I had a little bit of a tough experience going through them. So I would maybe try a different way of getting in. But still really cool. I'm really glad I spent the money to go, and I pivoted at the last second and that there was a place available for me. I really enjoyed it, and I got to be super nerdy and see Harry Potter Studios, and I loved, loved, loved it. So, like I said in the beginning of this episode, I've talked about my love for London at nauseum. I've had really great experiences there. I've had really traumatic experiences there. But above all, it's the city that I always dreamed of going to. It was the one that seemed the most feasible, the place I felt the most home out of all the places I've ever traveled to. I'm so lucky and never thought I'd get to say that it's an experience where you could pretty much plot me anywhere in London now and I'd be able to figure out my way around. I feel it's incredible. I'm so lucky and fortunate. I am someone that I feel like my dreams have clipped wings, so to speak. I've always been super logical and thinking, okay, well, I have celiac, so although I would love to do X, Y, and Z, I never let my mind really think of it as anything more than something I would just imagine. And there are things that I would love to do, but the finances of something get in my way. And London is the place where I've realized I don't have to cut myself short of my dreams. I can go and pursue them, and I anything is possible because London was possible. And all the things I've ever wanted to do in London are possible. The first time I went to London, I remember telling my classmates, I have to do as much as I can on this trip because I don't think I'll ever be able to come back to Europe. But London made it accessible. London made it possible where I could go over and over and over again, not just to London, but to Europe in general. And if I could go back in time when I was in high school and people would talk about, oh, my parents got to bring me to all these different places, and I would be so jealous and feeling like, darn it, I'm never going to be able to go. And when I was diagnosed with celiac at 15, it just further drove that. And my mom kept pushing me because she didn't get to go to Europe until I studied abroad in Italy and I treated her to a trip of going to Italy. And I know how much it meant to her that her children get to go to Europe, even if it meant she never got to go. And she always pushed that on me. My grandparents, I'm so fortunate that my grandparents traveled and made it seem a little bit more feasible. They wanted to take me on a trip to Portugal when I was younger, but things just got in the way and it didn't get to happen. But I had a part of my family where it wasn't possible, it wasn't feasible, it wasn't something that you did. So I believed that narrative. I believed I was never going to be able to do it. And then I did. So I am full on believer of believe in yourself, believe in your dreams, and do not let anyone or anything in life stop you. Don't go and look at other people and go, oh, well, that's a thing that people like that get to do. Because I did that a lot too. It's not true. None of it is true. And even if you have parents that are very hesitant, Well, you know what? You go, you work hard, you make your own money, you save up, and you go on your own as an adult, and don't let anyone stop you, because if you're making your own money and you're paying your own way, it's not anybody else's business of what happens now, is it? That's my rant for this week, and that's my lesson for this week to share with everybody. And I hope you get to have your magical experience. My only regret is that I wasn't able to start traveling the world sooner. If you don't follow any advice I ever give in life ever, this is the one to follow. Believe in yourself, believe in your dreams, go and do it. For the wrap-up questions, do I feel the city is safe for those with celiac? Yes, I do. What was my favorite place to eat on this particular trip? I liked the Table Cafe. Favorite memory from the experience? I loved getting to go to Harry Potter Studios. Is this a city to vacation to or live in? Both. Is this a place to relax or be active? Active in the city sense. How are the people? Same as New York. Not mean, but not super nice either. And that's all I've got for this episode of London. And it's a quick one and a short one, but hopefully it's just as impactful as the others. If you want to find out more information, or if you want to find out more about London and your possibilities, go check out my other blog posts on hieatexplorelove.com, or you could listen to the other podcast episodes about London. Of course, if you have any questions or want to share your stories, I'm more than happy to hear them on hieatexplorelove@gmail.com. See you next time. Thank you for joining me this week for all the fun journeys and lessons learned on my big adventure called life. For more information on the different cities discussed, check out the blog posts on hieatexplorelove.com, posted every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. If you have any questions or fun stories to share, feel free to reach out at hieatexplorelove@gmail.com. Until next week, remember to eat well, explore the world, and love yourself. See you next time. This episode is produced, scripted, and edited by me, Ashley. Special thanks to Sarah Mientka.